Can we start with your team news first, please, Carlos? How's Joe Pereira after getting injured in the warm-up at the weekend?
We are going to test him today in the training because he's feel a little bit better in the back. The other day before to the game, he feel a pain in the back. That's why he couldn't play. I think it was important the decision that from my right here, our goalkeeper coach give us to travel always with 3 keepers. That's why we have the other day the option to put Chapman in the bench. And now Joel is a little bit better. We will check today in the training. We will continue checking tomorrow in the morning, and we will decide, depending how he feel, what he can do for the team.
It sounds like there's a possibility, though. It's nothing serious. Sounds like he could possibly be involved tomorrow night on the bench again.
Yeah. Tomorrow he has options to go in the bench because he have feel an improvement from yesterday to today. Any
other injuries coming out of the weekend, or is everybody seemingly okay after the long trip to Swansea?
No, we are in the same situation like before to this game. We are losing now Danny Ward, that he's going to need a little bit more. Like I said before to the previous press conference, that he will need a little more of time to recovery. But at the same time, Edmond Green, he continued the same adaptation process. But the rest of the players are available. The same players are available to play in the next game.
Is that proving frustrating for you and for Danny Ward, I presume, as well? He's come here, wants to play football. He's back at Huddersfield, wants to get going, but he's having to sit and wait for this injury to clear up.
Yes, I think the injuries always are one hard process for the player because always they have the illusion to play the game. They have the illusion to be training with the team. This is what they want. And every player, especially when the injury is a little bit more longer than you were thinking, it's a process that they need to learn how to manage. To continue, try to have the same illusion to watch that at the end, if they follow the treatment, they do the work, there is one moment that they are going to recover and they are going to be ready to help the team. That is what they want.
A few days on now, how do you reflect on the performance against Swansea? A fantastic result down there, but performance-wise, how do you reflect on it now you've had a chance to analyse it again?
Yes, always we analyse the things that we have to do better, and at the same time, the things that we are doing well to continue doing well. I think the team we are going to continue trying to improve from the defensive point of view because the other day we conceded chances in the goal, chances that could change the result. We know that it's normal versus one team like Swansea, but at the same time, if it's like we try to demand ourselves the higher level in defense and at the same time the higher level in attack. In attack, we couldn't block the press enough in the first half, something that we did better in the second half. So I think with these 2 points, we have things that we can do better.
Do you think that will come through familiarity? Your 3 centre-halves in particular getting used to playing alongside each other. Will that then breed better performances and more solidity at the back?
I think to play with 3 in the back always is an option that we have to have as a team.
And is it a good option to have when you're coming up against different types of strike forces, different types of opposition as well? Do you need to be able to move things from a 2 to a 3 at times, do you feel?
Yes, totally agree with you. It's necessary to have this option in football.
When we talk about your fullbacks as well, they've been really instrumental in what you do. How impressed have you been with their performances so far, both on both sides?
I think from we are right here, we knew about the condition of Toffolo to attack a lot because he was a player that from his sign here in Huddersfield in the middle of the last year, he had a very good contribution in the last part, in the third part on the pitch. Only in the last games of the season, only in the last 7 games of the previous year or the 6 games of the previous year, he attacked less because he was more focused to defense. But the normal condition or the normal skills of Toffolo is attack a lot and trying to cover all the space of the side. At the same time, we have Brown too. That is J.D. Brown is another player that with similar skills. He's younger than Toffolo, but he's another player that can help a lot the team in the playing out, in the middle of the pitch, in the building up, and in the last part of the pitch, even to arrive to the finishing situations when the cross is in the other side. Now, with the players that are not playing with the first team, are playing with the B team, and J.D. Brown is making an impact in the last game that he played with the B team. So I think in the left side, both players can help a lot to the team to arrive to the last third of the pitch, or to cross or to finish the attack when we cross from the other side. And in the right side, We have the similarity too, because we are playing with Pipa, that we knew that Pipa, before we signed him, that he's an offensive player. He had played as a winger, as a right winger in Espanyol too, so we knew that he was a player that he can cover a lot of meters on the right side, and the alternative to him is the Meko in the team too, another player, an offensive player, that he was playing in the Manchester City Academy. You have to be offensive player to play in this academy, and at the same time, he continued improving, trying to have the impact that he can have with the B team minutes when he's not playing with the first team. The other day, he could play and help playing in one position that he's not his position. He played more as a number 8. And this versatility is important for us too, in terms of to have players like this in the squad. And the other player that we can play as a winger is Aaron Rowe, that is another young player who played in the cup game with us, and is another winger who can play in this position. So it means that the fullbacks are going to have the option to attack a lot.
On paper, are you impressed at how well he's adapted to English football? I know it sounds a bit of a cliche to say, but are you impressed at the way he has taken to your team so quickly?
I think with some players, you can feel that they understand the football, and you can feel how they are, that they are going to have a lot of problems to adapt. My feeling with Pipa was that one, because Pipa was playing Espanyol, was playing the national team. He changed in a couple of teams in second division in Spain, and always the performance was the same. When you are watching that the player is stable in his performance in different options, like in Espanyol or Nastic before in Spain, or in the national team of Spain, under 21, when the players continue playing with the same ideas, it can help you to think that the player is not going to be this, even not going to need the same time of another players. And after the character of the players can help to integrate easy in the team. And I think this is something that this is something that Pipa has inside himself, that is one player that very fast with the work and with his character win the love of the dressing room too.
Can you tell me about your new player as well? You'll be able to pronounce his name much better than I. Alex Vallejo, is that how you would pronounce it?
Yes, Alex Vallejo is a little bit complicated for
for me, yeah, for my accent. What can you tell me about him? What sort of a player is he, and why did you want to add him to your squad?
I think in something that we need always in the team, but especially this year in the championship, in terms of number of games that we are playing, and in terms of number of games in a row in a short period of time, we need to have 2 players in each position. So in the only position that we didn't have 2 players was in Hawk position. Then the idea was to have 1 player who can cover him, because we know that for Hawk and for every player it's going to be hard to play always consecutive a lot of games in a row, and with the demands of the championship, because we know that every game in championship is very, very, very demanding, and this is something that we know. Then Hawk was the only player that didn't have this option. Of course, another players can give you this option, like O'Brien can play sometimes in the position or 18-2, but we didn't have any specific position midfielder who can cover Hawk when he is not ready to play. So it was the idea of the signing. And at the same time, now the only player who doesn't have neither the second option is Campbell, because he's the only striker that we have, because Danny Ward continue to be out of the injury. So that's why we were thinking always to valorate the needs of the squad.
So do you see it in a similar way to the fact that Fraser Campbell didn't play at the weekend? He can't play game in, game out with so many games. Do you see that the same with Jonathan Hogg and Alex Vallejo? They may rotate between each other. Is that how you view it?
I think more than the rotate is to feel that you need to have someone who can cover, because at the same time that you improve the competitive level of the squad, at the same time, as a team, you need to have enough players to face the games and to face with the different needs that the games can have. Versus Rotterdam, for example, we play with 3 with Hawk being a central back, and this is one position that is not easy for one midfielder. It's like not all the midfielders are going to be ready to play as a central back, sometimes creating 3, and for example, and helping the team in the playing out, and at the same time be strong in defense. So we were looking for one specific midfielder who can make maybe in different way, but the same needs that Hawk can cover in the squad and in the team.
Fitness-wise, how far away is he from being fit enough to feature for your side?
Who?
Vallejo. He's been a free agent, hasn't he? So he's not necessarily been playing much football. So how far away is he fitness-wise?
Vallejo, the last game that he played was in close to January of the last year because he finished the contract with Fuenlabrada, one team of second division Spain. But in the last 2 years, he was playing enough minutes in second division Spain. That is another good competition. So the only thing is that, like you say, he spent with the COVID situation, he didn't play enough game. But this is something a little bit more normal in this year than in other years because COVID stopped the football. I knew that he was close to move to another country, but in this country the football was stopped, so he lost the chance to move. And in this moment, we know that he is a very professional player and he was working by himself, but never is the same. So we need to start to work with him to see how long he's going to take to adapt to the fitness levels that this competition demand.
So he won't be involved tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes, no one to be involved.
Tell me a little bit about Derby County. You've come up against Derby as a coach quite a few times in your time with Leeds United. Can you use that experience, do you feel, when facing them this week?
I think when you play versus Derby County, you know that you are going to play versus one big club. And at the same time, you know that you're going to play versus one of the squads that are important in this year in the championship. Sometimes in some moment of the season, your position in the table is not reflecting or is not showing the level of the squad that you have. I think we played twice versus them the last year with Leeds. In twice, these two times was a very hard games, both. In the first one we draw, in the second one we won. But I think both times were at very tough games. Then I think now they are working with the same coach. This is the second year of the same coach. They have very clear some ideas, but I think that just some negative results have changed their ideas, but I think it's a team with a lot of quality and at the same time with a lot of very, very interesting young British players because they have made like a transition during this year and they are playing with many players that are very young but are going to be very important here for the country.
Wayne Rooney doesn't appear to be able to feature in this game. It looks like he's in quarantine right now. Is that a positive for your side, do you feel, not having him involved?
I think, being honest, is like they are a team with a lot of possibilities to attack. Of course, Rooney is being a very important player for them because he's playing every game. He was playing as a midfielder the last year. He was playing as a playmaker too at the beginning of this year, and he was playing as a striker in the last games. But I think they have enough number of players, of offensive players, to can cover any position that they are playing. And now, for me, they lost one important player that was Lawrence, and now he played in the previous game from the bench, and I think he's going to be an important player that they are going to recover for this game, and they suffer because he was a very important player in the previous years too.
Thanks, Carlos. All the best for tomorrow. Thank you.
Very much.
Thanks, Jonathan. Stephen, do you want to pick up, please?
Not much from me, but I thought the three centre-backs you played on Saturday all played really well. Richard Stearman has been excellent while he's been in the side. It gives you a very difficult decision to make if you do go back to two centre-backs, doesn't it?
It's like this, but this is the best thing. Is like when the player have to make a difficult decision in terms of select the players, is the best news that you can have as a coach, because every time that the players create this headache to decide, but not only we play with three centre backs or no, it's like if play one number 10, one other number 10, if play one number 8, one other number 8, if you play with one winger or another winger, I think it's very positive for the group when you have, when you don't find a high difference of the level that can contribute to the team, one player or another player.
That's great. That's all I had, to be honest. Thanks, Carlos.
Leon, have you got anything to add?
Yeah, just got a few. Hello, Carlos. Hope you're well. Lewis O'Brien being back, the team are in a good vein of results, and it's great to have him back and be working with him in the first team games. He's a huge player for Huddersfield.
Yes, I don't have any doubt. For me, he was one of the most important players the last year. That's why the fans recognize this in the last year, and they nominate if I am not wrong, they nominate him like the most important player from the fans' point of view. And I wasn't surprised about this because I was following his performance, and his performance was really well. I think he missed a lot of. Unfortunately, he missed some of the trains at the beginning of the year, but now he's working. He's going to be the third week that he's working with us. All this week will be the third week. So it's important that he continue add minutes to his body, add minutes with ideas of the team, and he continue improving his levels. And he's going to be one very important player for us with any doubt.
You must be very pleased with Josh Koroma as well. He's obviously coming from the loan spell with Rotherham, and he's been had a really good start for you, and you must be delighted with him.
I think it's very important that the players realize about what is his role in the team. Like the players need to know when they have the opportunity to be in the first 11 of the team, they need to win this gap and to don't lose the chance to continue being an important player for the team. So I think Josh is a young player, but at the same time now he's having one opportunity that he needs to make the necessary thing to can keep, because of course when you are playing all the games, when you are sacrificing for your team, when you are making a lot of effort, you are growing as a teammate and you are growing as a player. And this is the message that I want that he understand. And I think the other day he showed that he understand very clear that he need to defend one position, helping his teammates.
Yeah. You must be very pleased with how your side's developing tactically. You know, playing different systems, and that must please you as a coach.
I think every game is a high demanding. This is what my feeling as a coach. So sometimes we are want to play in one way, and we can show, and sometimes we are not to be able to solve because the opponent is going to play with a lot of level 2 and will make difficult to our ideas have success. So the idea is always be prepared for the situation that the game is going to demand. That's why we try to analyze the opponents a lot. But after the game is the game, the player need to understand the game, the needs of the game, the situation of the game. Sometimes we will have success, sometimes no. But the most important for me is to play the game with a lot of spirit, with the competitive spirit that have to be one of the values that we have as a team.
You must be delighted with the confidence of the group. It seems to be getting a lot higher. That must please you as well.
I say from my area here that I find one group of players with a lot of ambitions to change one situation that they were living before. Sometimes you ask me about Adama Diakabi or Isaac Mbensa and I say that the only thing that I find were players ready to try to help the team and to continue develop. And this is the feeling that I find with the majority part of the squad or with all the players. But at the same time, we are in a short period of time. You never know how it's going to affect the games, it's going to affect the results, how it's going to affect for some players to play more or to play less. And this challenge is a life challenge. This is one situation that every week we are going to analyze, or you are going to analyze, and we need to continue fighting, trying to keep this mentality in the team every game. And this is one of the higher challenges of the coaches.
And just a final one: 4 of your next 6 games are at Huddersfield. That's a good opportunity for you to get your home form strong.
Now, what I think is like we are going to start one period of the year that is totally different, because until now we didn't play in a row. It's going to be Derby County, the first game that we are going to play in a row. It's going to be another challenge for us, because now we need to show that we are able to be with intensity or to be with our ideas after 72 hours of the last game. And like this, it's going to be the next, and the next. So this year is totally different of the previous years, because only we play in a row 7 games the previous year at the end of the season, but with 5 options from the bench. This year we are playing with 3 options from the bench, and the period of the last year was after a long part of break of holidays. But this year is different. We start, and after we start, we arrive to this moment, and this moment is going to be one of the more normal moments during the year. So we need to have the option to adapt very fast to these demands, because playing a row is different than to play once per week.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you.
Thanks, Leon. Finally, Rob, thanks for your patience. Do you have anything to add?
Just one. Carlos, just to go quickly back to this COVID situation with Wayne Rooney, testing negative and missing games. I suppose this could happen to any team, any player in these unique times. So how much does this present a new challenge for clubs and managers?
This can happen, like you say, to any team, to any player, and in any moment. and you don't know when this can happen. At the same time, we need to follow the regulation that Derby County did, follow the regulation from the government. It's like when the player have to be in isolate and the teammates that have contact with him. So it's going to be one strange situation for all the clubs. Like nobody have experienced to manage this situation before because we didn't have passed, we didn't live this situation before. So of course it's going to be one challenge because to the normal injuries that you can have during the consecutive games, you are going to add this problem. That's why everyone have to be very conscious about not only what we do here in the training ground, because we try to increase the measures here to avoid any option to have the COVID, but at the same time, all of us have one part of life that is not here, because when we arrive to our houses, we have our families and we have the life that we need to try to keep too. But at the same time, we need to try to keep this life with a lot of responsibility, because we know that the consequence to lose one player can affect to lose more than one player. And at the same time, that now you lose one player 10 days, it means that the player is going to, as a minimum, to lose 3 games. And after he need to rehab. And at the same time, you never know how COVID is going to affect to the body of each one, because some players doesn't feel any change, and other players have symptoms and they are going to suffer some consequences. So nobody knows the consequences of this, but that's why we need to try to increase our responsibility when we are here in the club and at the same time when we are in our houses, because of course COVID can affect in a lot the competition.